All right. First of all, I'm apologize for the mishap a few minutes ago. I am out here, and apparently, my backup phone that I had the class notes on about colors and gemstones did not want to open the document without a Wi-Fi signal. So I had to hotspot my phone to get the form to open. And I could have sat here and ad-libbed everything, but I'd rather tell you what I already had prepared from research versus just shooting from the hip. So getting into colors and gemstones, you can start out like say with the basic Roy G. Biv, which your red will be first. But of course, there's more expansive than that. But I'll go down the list in order. So we're going to start with red. With red, you're dealing with the color of blood. It's also associated, of course, then with birth and death. In many cultures, red has been considered sacred. If you like do your research from there, you'll see where hematite, when it's ground down, becomes a red powder, and they used to use a powder and put it on the royal figures on people of prominence called red ochre. They'll find these sites that are like 5 to 10,000 years old, and the people that had the most, jewelry or trinkets buried in there with them were all covered with that red powder. Um, then, even like we learned a couple weeks ago, or last week, I should say, the Romans used to ground up the hematite powder and cover their body with it because it gave them the sense of invincibility because it was associated with war through Aries and Mars. So again, red is considered to be sacred and is dedicated to a lot of deities. Red stones are projective, they're active, they are related to the planet Mars, like I just got to saying, and the element of fire. Both of those are aggressive energies. Fire is one of the active elements, so when you're thinking of active elements, you're thinking of power. So red goes into that. Um, they are protective stones, and they will work to strengthen the body and willpower. Red stones are used to promote courage, to lend energy, not only to the body but to the mind, and to provide additional power to rituals by the presence when you put them on an altar. Then so if you put a red stone out there around whatever you're working with, you raising the power level. That's just like if you're doing any forms of ritual magic or anything like that. If you use red candles, they're power boosters. In ancient times, red stones were worn as antidotes to poison to keep one's thoughts pure, and by drawing out the causes. So if you put red on, then you kind of would extract whatever impurity was going on. And like I was saying, like say with the Sumerians, they believed that everything that was wrong with the body was the result of a lower level energy or entity that had infested the body, and that you can remove it through gemstones, if not herbal elixirs. So red would pretty much draw out whatever energy was in there causing the disease or dis-ease. Um, so again, they used to use them for poison antidotes to keep the thoughts pure and for drawing out to the causes to banish anger and violent emotions. Being that red again is associated with anger and war, so it's almost like if you use enough red, you would overload the anger in that type of energy anyway. Give something too much of what it needs, then it will no longer want it. Is the theory behind that. They're often worn to relieve anemia, to halt bleeding, and to heal wounds. So again, basically anything dealing with blood, the folklore and really traditional uses all go back to using red stones. They've also been seen to work on rashes and inflammation. Again, inflammation is in some senses, it's a buildup of energy in one spot, and then you get inflamed. So that's a buildup of power, red or power stone. So if you want to cancel power, you use power. So they're used for rashes and inflammation. Perhaps in association with its blood link, red stones were once carried to prevent miscarriage. And you can kind of see that in anything dealing with the blood. You're dealing with miscarriages and birth, so you're trying to control that flow of life, which is going to be linked to the blood flow. So then they would attempt to use red stones to handle that. Red stones can be powerful and used to overcome sexual dysfunctions, usually by placing the stone near or on the genitalia while visualizing. So more folklore stuff. This is garnet, and garnet is a shielding stone. But again, it's also like considered to be a blood purifier. When we start making elixirs or using gemstones for body ailments, you'll see how it does have a good little bump of energy in it. But the wearer of garnet normally carries a sense of higher shielding, and that can might go back into the same thing of power on an energetic level, or power in making sure that your blood is on a straight flow. So red gemstones, power, protective, but also projective, pushing off. Next on the list, and I uploaded a document earlier, but next on the list are pink. And with pink, I mean, you have a variety of pink stones, not that many, but like you got, I think it's rhodonite and rhodochrosite, but sometimes rhodonite has more of a reddish tone to it, but rose quartz is always going to be pink. So, oh boy, I got to make sure that this phone does not shut down. Okay, so pink stones are receptive. You know, think about you bringing in. Pink stones are love related, so they bring in energy. Packed with loving vibrations is the misnomer about it. I'm not gonna say misnomer. That's the accepted methodology behind it. So pink stones bring in loving vibrations, and they're receptive. They're calming, soothing, and are used to de-stress and relax the physical body as well as the mind. Being that they are used nowadays really for like love attraction, there is the tendency, if you have too much pink on, that you're going to get the Cupid effect for real, which can lead you into stalking situations. So you have to be careful with inundating yourself with too much rose quartz type energies or whatever, because it can increase that vibrational field around you, and now you're attracting that love element, and unfortunately it may not be the true sense of unconditional love. It may be that attached love of, ooh, you look good to me, so now I need to bother you. So if anybody has had low-key stalker issues and you used to wear pink stones, might be reason why. So be careful with that. Sometimes thought to be ruled by Venus, although green is more of a color that is visualized with Venus. Pink stones are used to attract the love or to strengthen love already present. Kind of like what I was just saying. It'll attract love, and it'll kind of keep the vibration of love that's already in play more balanced. But again, with anything, there's a duality. So just like you're trying to balance love, you could also cause it to be imbalanced. So be careful there. They may work to smooth over difficulties in long-standing relationships, and at that same time, being that they are more unconditional love, thymus chakra, higher heart chakra related, they can also increase your tendency to find self-love. And a lot of us are in relationships that are not based. It was saying reconnect, so I don't know if it's back on there. I just had to wait for the replay to find out. But what I was saying is, and I guess I wasn't supposed to say that, but just like they can help you find or strengthen the love, they can increase your self-love to where they can basically be relationship enders. If you are in a abusive relationship, or you have just been hiding from yourself and you now discover yourself because you have increased your unconditional love field, they can't even look at that as harm. They can help you get to where you need to be by ending situations that are just pretty much designed to hold you back. So the duality energy again, right there. You have to be careful of what your true intentions are when you're trying to use anything that has a metaphysical use to it. Or still on pink stones, they can be worn to promote self-love, just like I just got through saying. This isn't narcissism, but it's the realization of your faults. And more of what I was saying. I mean, if you know that you have attached your energy and stopped yourself from becoming who you are in full, then you are in a dead end situation from the first place. Let me see where the words are at. This isn't narcissism, but a realization of your faults, acceptance, and release of them, and then getting on with life. As and with many other things or people before me have said, we cannot expect others to love us if we don't love ourselves. And unfortunately, we have been taught the sense of duty on this level of existence, to where you are supposed to sacrifice yourself for the perceived greater good of the illusion of love. And again, that's attachment. That's not true love. So be mindful of that. A lot of people don't want to hear that because they're caught up in their beliefs and systems and all that stuff. But hey, at the end of the day, do what works for you. Again, with anything you're going to hear me ever say is resonance has to be your key. And I see you see it's true. So, I mean, it works for me that way. Um, so pink stones are an energy that can help you get into self-love, but it can also help smoothing out the balance in a existence love relationship. And again, on the third side, like I was saying, if you are in seeking mode, if you're wearing too many pink stones that have a good vibrational component to them, you may actually attract some low-level stalker type energies if somebody is just out there really unsure of themselves in the first place. Pink stones promote peace, happiness, joy, and laughter. They stimulate the lighter emotions, help attract friends. Again, that's where I'm getting at, where they are attraction stones. Help attract friends, and they encourage openness towards others. That's the good side of it. But when you're dealing with a person who has delusions in their mind, if they feel like that good feeling that they're getting in their gut, which is basically instinct and not intuition, if they're feeling like it's safe for them to act on it, like, ooh, you feel good to me, so now I'm in love with you. You don't even know anything about the person, but the feeling makes you produce love, or the perception of love, I should say. So if you run into people like that, again, that's that rose quartz effect. They're in the stupor field. They got too much energy in them, and now they think that what they're perceiving is a form of love. So again, mass caution with using too much rose quartz type stones. Um, they are ideal to use in group rituals where you're trying to promote a sense of fellowship or bring in a higher loving vibration in the first place. So that's your pink stones. Moving on to orange stones, and right here I have a sunstone, and here's a carnelian. Again, I just had rose quartz for the pink stones. Orange stones have some other fire. They have some of the fire of red, but are gentler in their effects. And like say, for example, with this carnelian, if you look at it, from certain angles, it does have a red hue to it. It's a darker orange than this sunstone. So there's, kind of like a blending of the energies. Um, but again, what it's saying is the orange is a little bit gentler in the effect. So they're projective. They have often been seen as symbols of the sun. They are ideal for use in protective rituals and those designed to promote illumination. These stones are related to personal power. Wearing one will enhance your ability to tap into and direct the energy during magical rites. So, in any rituals, orange is a success and abundance stone, is what it's relegated to. These stones are related to personal power. Wearing one will enhance your ability to tap into direct spiritual. I just said that. These are excellent stones to wear for those people with low self-esteem, for they expand your awareness of self-worth. Orange stones are thought to be luck attracting, and as symbols of success, they are worn during spells to have a positive outcome. Um, wow, you're ready to catch a storm. I'm gonna try and run through this before the storm gets me. One thing about, say, with carnelian, being that they tie in the success component and the protective component, this is why they used to use it like in Kemet or Egypt. They used to use this as a stone of the dead, basically an ancestral stone. What when you were buried, they would leave a carnelian with you as part of the process of going through, the journey through the underworld into the afterlife. This was supposed to escort you there. So nowadays, a lot of people will still use this for ancestral work. It's a connector stone. So just a little bit about the orange and the carnelian. Yellow stones, and this is a mellow calcite. And you'll start running into a bunch of stones that really look a lot alike. You got citrine, but does not always look like this. And then you also have yellow obsidian, which is looking just like this, but it's a man-made cut glass. So you have to be aware of that stuff too. But yellow stones and minerals are projective. They are ruled by Mercury, which is, communication planet. They're used for things involving communication. If you're having trouble expressing yourself in an intelligible way, try wearing a yellow stone. And because I'm stammering, I'm going to hold this and see if it increases my energy. Public speakers should use this stone. Writers may receive help with their work by utilizing yellow stones, while public speakers wear their for eloquence. Also ruled by the sun, yellow stones are protective, while the element of air, also as a ruler, tells us that they can be used to strengthen the conscious mind. They are worn during magic to heighten visualization abilities. So citrine, basically again related to the element of air, which the color is yellow. That's your communication, realization, or reasoning all along. So you can increase your magic that way. Spells involving travel can be performed with yellow stones, perhaps by holding one in your projective hand and visualizing yourself traveling to your desired location. So, there's a spell in itself right there. You thinking about going on a vacation, and you just like, man, I need to get this stuff manifested quick. Get you a yellow stone, hold it in your dominant hand, like I'm left-handed, so that's my dominant hand. Hold it there and just start visualizing where you want to be and go from there. Try that. let's see, health-wise, yellow stones are used to promote digestion because they are related to your stomach area. Even though they're your solar plexus, they are related to the stomach area. And going back a little bit, orange is related to the sacral, which is below the navel and to include the navel. Red was down below in the genitalia pubic region. That's your root. So red was the root, orange was the sacral, right there to your belly region. Solar plexus is right below your diaphragm in the solar region right there too, your solar plexus. And then we're on yellow, which yellow is the solar plexus. That's what we're talking about now. So health-wise, is used to promote digestion because your stomach goes down into here, to regulate the nervous system, and for skin problems. They are stones of movement, of exchange, of energy, and of mental awareness. So again, you can use these pretty versatile. After you come out of yellow, you get into greens. This is the Vesuvianite. It goes by a bunch of different names, and I'll probably quiz y'all a little bit later on, give you some other names for Vesuvianite. And this is a ruby zoisite. It's like ruby mixed in with the green base stone of zoisite. So green, the color of nature, of fertility, of life. Green has often been linked with red in religion and in magic. So again, you got bloodstone is green and red too. And like this stone here, this stone could be, a duality stone because it has green and red in it. So it's going to carry multiple energies, but the base of it is green. So you would look it up under a green stone. They are stones that have a receptive, they're receiving energy. You have a receptive energy. They are used in healing magic, perhaps by surrounding a green or blue candle with the green stones, lighting the candle, and then visualizing the sick person as a vibrant, totally healed person. So you light the candle, put the stones around them, and you just start picturing, and by pushing your energy from out of yourself or picturing that person being whole, you're going to tap into the stone's energy and feed into the candle and then start going through exteriorization techniques of basically sending energy. They can also be carried or worn to guard the health. Specifically, green stones are thought to strengthen the eyes, control the kidneys, relieve stomach problems, and prevent migraines. As soon as I put the yellow stone down, I start backstabbing. So I guess it did work. I'm gonna hold it again. Ruled by Venus, as we said earlier, pink stones, they relate to Venus because Venus is related to love. So, but green is the primary color for Venus. But they were ruled by Venus. Green stones are worn during gardening to promote luxurious growth or are placed in the earth for this purpose. If you have houseplants, try putting a few empowered green stones in the earth. Due to such usage, they are also thought to increase fertility and therefore to promote conception. Excuse me a minute. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to talk to you about.
Oh, I'm in the middle of the class and I'm live. Y'all give me just 1 second, and I apologize for this. Go ahead, ma'am.
No, I just wanted to share some information
Yes, ma'am.
with you because I have a lot of things I need to get rid of that I think would pertain to you, and I'd like to give them to you. They're stones, chakra books.
You want to get rid of them?
I do.
Give them to me.
I don't have them on me, but can you give me your information?
Yes, ma'am.
And, I'm so
If it's not going to offend you, I'm going to give you a card.
Okay.
Oh, God. I wish we not have a card in here. You know what? I always keep a card hidden.
I'm Lynn.
I'm Tony.
Tony?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll be in touch.
All right. Thank you. I do apologize. Okay. Oh, please open back up. All right. So now we're back on to the yellow. And I can already see how this is going to go. I'm just going to tell you, she's now a Christian, but she used to deal with chakra energy and stuff like that, but it scared her, so now she wants to get rid of them. But I'll take her from her. I run into people like that all the time. I am in the Christian belt down here in South Carolina, so a lot of people come into awareness, and I know this is off topic a little bit, but a lot of people come into awareness around here, and then the stones actually start speaking to them, or spirits start coming to them, because we are on an ancestral fault line. And they start seeing shit and hearing shit, and then they fucking freaked out, and the next thing you know, they run back to Jesus. And if that's what you run to, that's fine, but do not lose your mind because you ran into fucking real energy. So if she want to get rid of some shit, I'm gonna take it from her, and I'll sage the fuck out of it and keep it moving. So that was back on the green stones. But she wasn't gonna leave until she talked to me. Hey, bye, baby. I'll see you soon. And I felt her energy behind me. It was like, ooh, he's talking about something I know about, but I'm scared of it. And I looked at her books in her hand, and she's got, Christian books in her hand. And no slight against Christians. I love everybody, but I don't do that judgmentalism shit where you finna try and tell me it's the devil. I'm the devil, so let's keep it moving. um, where was I at? Ruled by Venus, green stones. Yeah, they help with the kidney, stomach problems, and prevent migraines. If you got house plants, you could try putting a few empowered green stones in the earth. And by the word empower, they mean they're programmed. You've already cleansed them, you cleared them, you programmed them with your intentions of what you want to do with them. I hope she got some good stones. I'm sorry, she in my head a little bit now. All right. Due to such usage, they are also thought to increase fertility and therefore to promote conception. A little bit of off topic, but at the same time on topic. If you are a Reiki healer or if you're going to use stones for healing purposes in general, if you're dealing with cancers, cancers are the thing that keeps cancers alive are growths. So if something is growing, you don't want it to grow as far as a cancer. You don't want to use green stones with cancer because you are promoting fertility. There is a way to empower it and stop it from causing up growth, but you have to have some strong visualization techniques, and you'll have to have a strong set of stones that will not do what they're naturally attuned to do, which is promote growth. So if you're dealing with somebody with a cancer situation, you don't want to use green, which will feed that energy into them. You can use brown, which is also a low-level fertility, but it's more of a grounding and balancing element. And hopefully that comes up in this paper, but that just hit my mind. I know one format of Reiki I use actually has a green ray, and you cannot use that damn green ray on somebody with cancer, or you may increase the cancer situation. So a little spiel on green right there. Green is also associated with luck. The associating with the element of earth also lead to their use in spells involving money, riches, prosperity, and luck. Like most of my altars, if I'm doing prosperity altars or money altars, of course money is green, so I use green, but in my case I also use orange because orange is success and prosperity and abundance, and green is just fertility, as in growing more money and success and luck and all that itself. So I use a combination of energies if I'm doing money work. I use orange and green. That's just my personal experience. Let me see. They are grounding and balancing stones, which can be worn to attune to the earth, and that's true. Even though they're like associated with the heart a lot, elementally wise, they are associated with earth, which is the northern corridor, which the color is green. So you can do that. The next color on the chart is blue, and there are so many different shades of blue. Like this is a aqua obsidian, which again is a cut glass, but is vibrationally holding energy. It does have its own set of energy. Exactly how they do that, I don't know. I don't know the mechanics behind they make the cut glass. I know they infuse it with different chemicals or different irradiation laser techniques, and it imbues it with an actual energy. And then this is blue aragonite. It has its own energy too, and it's very soothing and calming. Then you also have darker blues and stuff, but I don't have one out here with me. Blue, the color of the ocean, the color of sleep, and the color of twilight. It's ruled by the element of water, which is your western corridor, blue, and the planet Neptune. They're receptive stones. I mean, they take in energy, but in the same time, like I've been telling y'all, what can take in can also give out. But they're naturally absorbing stones. They're going to take in energy. So if you have erratic energies, hold that, just relax and take a deep breath and let that stone take all the erratic energy away from you, all the emotional components out of you or into it. Then that's when you get back into your cleansing and clearing. Make sure that when you use a stone for a purpose of bringing you to a state of balance, that eventually you cleanse it so that it's not taking in too much energy. You cannot just expect it to transmute when, hell, we as humans can't even transmute half the damn time. Yeah, they're a higher vibration than us, but you still want to assist them because they are tools. Living energy or not, you do want to honor and respect them and give them some assistance. Receptive stones to promote peace. Holding a blue stone or gazing at it by a soft light calms the emotions. Same thing like I just said, give it to it. If you have difficulty sleeping, try wearing blue stones to bed or place them under a pillow. You'll also hear me say something about amethyst. A common thing is place an amethyst under the pillow, but that ain't where we at. We're on blue. They're also excellent for halting nightmares. Same thing with amethyst. Blue stones are worn or used to promote healing in general and specifically to reduce fevers, remove ulcers and their causes, and for eliminating inflammations. if you have real bad stomach pains or stomach problems, you could set like 3 or 4 stones right there wherever you feeling the ulcer at, and just leave it there and lay down and relax, and just be still and see how long that stone is going to stay on there. One thing we'll learn next week is the stones will normally stay in position until they've had enough. And in that case, that's when they'll either get hot, they'll get cold, or they will jump off. And they will literally jump off your body. You'll think, okay, did I move? No. The stone had enough and it will move. Belief issues. But I've seen it happen. It happens to me all the time. Um, Okay, yeah, it's good for eliminating inflammations. They're sometimes held to reduce or remove pain from the body. So you ain't got to lay them on, but it's easier when you lay stones on the energetic spot. Yeah, try the blue. I mean, try holding it until you feel yourself getting sleepy, and then once you start getting sleepy, put it up under your head, and then go ahead and finish going to sleep. But don't try like the blue stone and the amethyst at the same time. Experiment and see how one does versus the other, and then try how they both are together. And go that way. If you feel in need of a purification, wear blue stones, perhaps while bathing, to purify your inner being as well as your outer flesh. This is often done prior to a magical ritual. The premise behind that is blue is associated with the throat chakra. Your throat chakra, aka your power chakra, is how you manifest this existence. And in the beginning, there was the word. It comes from out of your mouth, which is connected to your throat. Your throat chakra is blue in the energetic sense. So if you are trying to get into a position of doing magic, you're going to have a strong throat chakra. So you empower yourself with blue stones. And in that case, you really want to use the power component of the color. Like I said, with this color blue, this is the softer side to where you're reducing energy and being calm. Not a bad thing. Same thing with this blue. And I should have had a darker blue for this case, but you got like your dark blues like I'll do this. This is indigo, but it's closer to the blue family. This is iolite. It can go in between the purple, the blue, and the indigo itself. So you can say that you're gonna get darker blue stones like this. This is a power stone. They push off more power than say this soft stone. This soft stone here make you want to go get a piece of candy. This one right here make you be like, okay, come on, let's do some work. So there's that power component. When you are trying to empower yourself or empower your throat, you want to use darker blue stones, or either like say true blue stones that will have this color a little bit darker than this. And those are like your lapis lazulis, your blue onyx, your blue opals, demortierite, blue quartz, just the true blue stones that carry that real color of blue. Those are going to be your power one. And out of those, the most powerful one that to me is the lapis lazuli, because it has gold flakes in it. So it's an amplifier, and we'll talk a little bit about that when we get further down. So that's your blue stones. On from the blue, touching it to the indigo a little bit, which is basically going to be tied between blue and purple, which is where we're going now. Purple or violet, same thing. Purple stones, and see, and it says it right here, I forgot I did that. With the stones that are called purple, you can also include the indigo. They basically carry the same premise of energy. So, where was that? Stones which are purple or indigo colored are receptive and spiritual. Ruled by Jupiter and Neptune, they have long been associated with mysticism and purification. They are excellent stones to wear for meditation, psychic work, or during any ritual designed to contact the subconscious mind. As with green and blue stones, purple is the color of healing and peace. These stones are worn to maintain health and sometimes given to unruly children to promote obedience. First-hand experience. My youngest son, he's 9 now, but when he was like, well, shit, from birth, he had autism, and he still has autism. He just doesn't let it rule him now. But he used to have like basically what we call headbanger syndrome. I mean, he would get angry real quick, and then he want to bang his head. And what that was associated with is that in his mind, because of all them chemicals we are taking in, his brain is constantly firing. So there's always synaptic firing going on in his brain. So it's like your brain's on fire. So then when it gets overly excited with anger, then it's almost like if you ever had a toothache and your tooth hurts so bad that you want to punch yourself in the mouth to counter the pain. That's the way some of these autistic children are actually operating, is they are in constant pain, and the only way they know how to address it is by trying to balance the pain. So that's why you get headbangers. That's my professional and first-hand observed experience. So when he was going through that, when he was like 2 or 3 years old, I start making him amethyst water. I start making him wear rose quartz and amethyst and other different kind of gemstones, giving him leopard stone water. But amethyst water calmed him down a lot. Wearing the rose quartz a couple hours a day slowed down all his aggression, and giving him amethyst water for a couple of weeks, mixed in with some healing spring water and shungite water, shut that shit down. It came back, but it only come back like say once or twice a month. But it was not the head banging. It was just that okay, if he got bored or if he wasn't being engaged enough, then he would become erratic, and then you have to go back into your gemstone therapy or whatever herbal therapy or whatever you got. But my point is, and again, off topic but not off topic. Do not just resort to using this heavy medicine that they have out here designed for us, which 9 times out of 10 only increases the symptoms. There are things of nature and things that you cannot, necessarily say are natural. You don't know where these gemstones come from, whether they came from out of the earth or, whether they're parts of meteors. Who cares? They're here. Use them. They're better than going to the drugstore and getting this heavy grade medicine that ain't doing up but tearing up a mind even more. And that's my little spiel on autism and gemstones. So they're used to contact the subconscious mind. They're here for peace and help promote obedience in unruly children. Physically, purple stones are utilized to relieve complaints in the head, such as headache, mental illness, concussion, and hair problems. So you can make amethyst water, put it in with some oil that's safe to put on the hair, and you can use it as a hair oil, or you can mix it with hairspray. You can put an amethyst inside some existing hairspray that ain't heavily chemical based, and let the amethyst amplify the hairspray that's already been pre-made, and see if it does adjust the way your hair is flowing, if you got a long luxurious hair and all that good shit. So there's ways to do all kind of things with gemstones, and we're going to try and get to as many of them as I can. The purple stones are used to relieve depression and produce restful sleep when worn at night. And again, you don't just have to wear it, you can sleep on it, put it up under your pillow. Purple stones are associated with organized religion as well as more spontaneous earth-oriented systems. Think about around Easter time, you see all them royal purple sachets or whatever you want to call them, that they straw all over the there's different shades of myrtleite, but with purple I was saying they have a tied into Christianity, and with a lot of these religions that's because they stole color schemes from older civilizations. Back to myrtleite, there's different levels of myrtleite. Myrtleite is actually called indigo gabbro. It comes in different shades. You got some of them that are black and white, then they're going to be relegated to the black and white family. And you have some of them that do have that indigo hue to it, or that more purplish hue. So then, yeah, you can lump them into the purple family. But at the same time, just use like your eye. If you can look at that myrtleite and you see where the black is coming through, then it's going to carry some of the properties of black. And if you hold at another angle and it has a purplish indigo in it, then it's that. If it has that blue in it, if you can find that mix of all things in it, it's going to be kind of like what we're going to get to here, and basically a conglomerate stone. It carries the property of all of the above, and that's kind of like a blessing. When you got like say this Dalmatian stone, you get a little bit of head. Dalmatian stone is basically a bunch of mixed colors. It carries its own vibration on top of the broken down vibrations of everything else. So you can basically relegate bits and pieces of what resonates and then put it into work by actually using the practice. So back to the purple, it's used to contact higher forces, and that's why you'll see purple being used for not only the third eye but also for the crown. You get a bunch of purple stones if you're trying to do rituals to contact your ancestors or the angels or anything of a higher nature. White stones are receptive, and when we're talking about white stones, that's to include clear. This is going to go to, most welcome, that's going to go into the white stones too, and then you also have, this is another clear, but it's starting to get cloudy, and then you have your true whites, like this is scolecite. Selenite is another one that's basically all white. White stones are receptive and ruled by the moon. As such, they are intimately linked with sleep and psychicism, or psychism I should say, so psychic abilities. In the past, white stones, especially chalcedony, were worn to promote lactation by mothers having trouble feeding their babies. So if you are a new mother and you know how I'm gonna say something, your breast milk is not coming out On the herbal side, I would tell you get a lettuce leaf and put it on there, or cabbage leaf and put it on there, and take some raspberry leaf tea. But on the gemstone side of the house, you can take like a scolecite and just hold it on your nipple and press it there and hold it. I'm not saying squeeze, but hold it there for a little bit and see if you get a tingle. If the vibration of the stone does not stimulate the vibrations within the areola to start allowing for relaxation to produce milk. So you could try different things like that, or you could just wear it and hope that the vibration shimmies through. In contemporary America, white stones were considered to be lucky stones, often carried in the pocket or to promote good fortune. We can kind of see where that goes. This country is pretty much based on the white is right thing, and it's not trying to be racist, but I mean, it's just being real. They pretty much gave white more ability than what it probably does naturally have. But belief is a motherfucker, excuse my language, and if you do enough stuff enough times, it does become a way. And in that way becomes a plausibility for it being real. So the fact that they converted everybody's thinking into thinking that white was pure, that's pretty much what it does, carry that vibration on most levels. You will encounter times where white ain't pure and you don't give a shit what you say, it ain't gonna work. I already said in the past. Because the moon glows at night, her stones are used for protection after dark, often when walking alone in hazardous places. Sometimes white and red stones are carried or worn together to protect at all hours. So you can mix a white stone with a red stone. Remember I said garnet is highly protective. So if you're carrying a white and a red, you're supposed to be 24 hours protected. A lot of times nowadays, people will use selenite, which is the white stone, and black tourmaline, which is a black stone. And they'll say, that's my heavy protection. That's based on that same theory of what I just said, carrying a white and a red. That was before they start giving credence to the ability of black, being black is the basis of all things. We ain't gonna go that up. Holla if you hear me though. All right, so worn it red away. Okay, to be rid of a headache, carry a white stone in your pocket. Situational. Some workers say that that white stones, because they contain all colors, can be magically charged to act as a substitute for any other stone through visualization. Again, yes and no. Clear stones, to the extent of you have to be aware of the limits of the stone. You can intend a clear quartz crystal to take place of any stone. So if you're doing chakra balancing and all you got is clear quartz, you can intend them to take the place of any other color. That's a truth. But you have to be mindful that these clear stones suck in more energy than darker stones. So are you going to be sucking in energy and leaking it back out? Is what you have to get through, or get through in your mind. So in some ways, I guess I'm saying is there is a way to overload stones like this, and it's not that they're going to shatter or break apart. But once you start getting the stone to try and amplify beyond its amplification ability, then it's just like, say, a battery. Once it's overused, it starts to leak out, and then there's a risk of explosion. An explosion in the sense of the energy leaking back out. So with that, I will also say they are used, and it's probably going to say here in a second, but I'll say it just in case it doesn't. When you're using quartz, it is used as an amplifier for any other stone that's next to it. So say I got this carnelian, but it just don't feel like it's strong enough. I would get me a clear quartz and intend it to amplify and also protect and not absorb negativity and a bunch of other stuff. And then you can put them together. If you had your pendulum, you could check one by itself, check the other one by itself, and then check the energy field on both of them together. Like already, I feel this is my receiving hand, and so I'm receiving energy crawling up my arm now. So you can use clear quartz or white stones to amplify. And then you have higher level white stones, like this is elestial quartz. Elestial stones are high energy stones. It's still a quartz, but the way it's formed, it has a higher matrix signature on it, so that the formation carries more energy or more vibrations. So this elestial would be better to use as an amplifier than this optical. This optical is basically quartz glass that's been shot with a laser. And then it turns into optical quartz, and then on certain angles, especially in the sun, you can find all kind of rainbows in there. So again, it's already been amplified, and then you can use it as an additional amplifier, but you don't want to go too far with it. And you will learn that by trial and error. Okay, that was to be rid of it. Someone can say that it can be magically charged. Okay. All right, so that's the white stones. Getting on to the black stones. Black stones are receptive. They're also projective too, but they're primarily receptive because they absorb. You think about the abyss. The abyss, or space itself, contains all things. So it will absorb everything else. That's a tektite, by the way, which is part meteorite. It's in the moldavite. Well, moldavite is in the tektite family. Moldavite is green. Your black ones like this, these are used to guard against extraterrestrial contact, such as the glowing black eyes that will come visit you every now and then once you start doing certain levels of work. And it's not that they're all malicious; it's just that they like to observe. And sometimes you wake up and shit sitting around you and don't feel right. Stones like this will kind of shield you from that. Astrophyllite, another black stone. You can use this for assistance in astral travel and also for a psychic protection shield, almost like the tektite. So black stones are your heavy guards. They're receptive. They represent Earth and stability, and they're ruled by Saturn, the planet of restriction. So black stones will restrict activity. Black stones are a symbol of self-control, of resilience, and of quiet power. Again, they're black. They don't need. I mean, they don't need to be loud. They already know who they are. They know what their power are. They don't need to be out here going. Ying, 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 ying. They just sit there and be like, okay, come on with it. I'll take it in, and just absorb. So they're quiet power. They are sometimes viewed as protective, like I said, but black stones are more often used to ground a person than it is to open them up. If you feel lightheaded or dizzy, or focus on the spiritual that your physical life suffers, wear black stones. If you focus more on the spiritual, on the physical more than the spiritual, then wear a black stone. It'll kind of like ground you down, take you out of that physical body a little bit. No, I apologize. If you're focused too much on the spiritual and you need to be grounded, then wear a black stone, because then it will bring your energy back down into the physical body. Another thing like that I said last week is wearing black stones above the heart. If they're heavy grounders, remember, they're going to pull in energy. So if you got it right here, it's going to be trying to pull your energy back down to where it's associated, which honestly is the Earth Star. The Earth Star is below your feet. The Earth Star is what connects you to this planet. These black stones are connected to the planet, so they're going to want to pull your energy down. If it's above your heart, it's going to want to pull your heart down, but it's going to pull from on top of it. So then it's going to be denser. And for some people, that can be translated into lethargy and depression and migraines, because you're just getting too much of your energy pulled right here, and then it's just like a drain blockage. Instead of it pulling it from the bottom, it's trying to pull the heart up into it, and then it's going to want to pull back down. So it's a reflux effect. And again, that's situational. I know at least 6 people who run into that, because I had to discover it the hard way. And I run into a bunch of other people who did it too. So it's plausible, but again, everybody has their own different energy signature, so not everybody has the same effect. Mystically, black is the color of outer space, or the absence of light. If you wish to perform a spell of magical invisibility to ensure that your actions won't be noticed by others, use black stones. For example, make a small image of yourself out of black clay, and adorn this. Okay, obsidian is basically cool glass. It's amorphous. It's almost to the point of a crystal, but it's still glass. And obsidian can absorb, especially if it had gold sheen or silver sheen. When you put that in there with that obsidian, when it has those sheens in it, it's pretty much a funnel. It will suck in as much energy as it can, and it almost never reaches its limit. So obsidian is pretty much one of the most durable stones there is, and it's not only protective, but it's also balancing on some levels. So obsidian can be one of the black stones that you could get away with actually wearing anywhere, as earrings, a necklace, eyeglasses, whatever. So it may help you. Again, case by case, you have to just trial and error. But what I was saying was, like, if you want to do an invisibility ritual, you can make yourself out of black clay, make a figure of yourself out of black clay, and adorn that figure with, make a little string necklace of black stones, or just push the stones directly in the clay. Place it in a black box or one made out of mirrors, and then put the box in a dark place. That simply hides your energy from others if they present some kind of threat to your energy. So basically, if you're doing root work and you're trying to hide your work from somebody else, you could do that. Make a black figure, or buy a black doll and put black stones that you energize to be you. Put it in a box and face the mirrors inside you, so that your reflection never is seen outside of that box. It's almost, in a way, you can use that as a coffin spell too if you want to trap somebody in there too. But I ain't supposed to be teaching you all that. But you can use that as coffin spell. Put their little ass in that box, and then face the mirrors in there and bury their ass, and then they won't ever get out. Some part of their energy will catch it. Sorry, that's that dark bastard in me coming out. Um, Multicolored stones, like I was saying with Dalmatian stone, which people commonly call Dalmatian jasper, but it is not a jasper. It's just close to the jasper family. It is actually its own category, Dalmatian stone. But you also have leopard skin jasper, and like I was saying the other day, stones that have circles in it. Circles contain all the energy of the universe. So if you have stones with circles in them, they're pretty much sucking in, or they have the ability to project out vast amounts of energy. So those are your real worker stones, and that's what I'm just being introduced to over the past few months from my teachers. I can see the plausibility of it though, and I was always wondering why I was drawn to stones with a bunch of circles on it, such as ocean jasper and leopard skin jasper. Multicolored stones. Stones which consist of various colors, such as bloodstone, which is green and red, or like this ruby zoisite, which is green and red. Um, Tourmaline, which can have many combination of colors. Some of them, like you got watermelon tourmaline, has green and pink and white in it, and then some of them even have the black chips in there too. So the multicolors are, and we got opal. This is opal light. Same basis as opal, but this is man-made. That's why they call it opal light. Still very vibrational. I don't know how they do this shit, but man, opal light to me feels stronger than opal. Let's see if y'all can feel this shit. Let's just do that. If you got energy sensitivities, it might be going in your head right now. Like right now, I feel like my whole fucking crown just opened up. Opalite is man-made, but what I'm getting at is that if you look at it, there are basically all kind of colors in there at the same time. Almost as like rainbow hue within there. It's almost in a cloud. You can catch different colors from different angles. So stones like that have a complex makeup, they're actually, more complex stones. For most of these, simply look at the colors individually and determine the other stones' uses by combining the energies of each. And that's why I was saying earlier, when you got stones that have multiple colors, you can use any property from all of the colors combined, or you can use none of them. You just relegate it to be, it can do what it want to do if it carries all the colors anyway. Other colors. For stones that contain flecks of metal, such as lapis lazuli, which is a blue stone, and it has flakes of quartz, but it has a bunch of gold flakes from pyrite in there. It requires knowledge of research and information regarding the various metals within them. Various shades of combinations of basic colors consisted above, such as lime green, like Vesuvianite, and the bluer colors. Like I said, you have the softer colors, like blue aragonite is a softer blue. When you get into that like that, things like that, then you have to pretty much think of the color usage in two parameters: the softer side and the heavier side. So with the blues, their power on the softer side is to help you learn to control or calm your power. On the heavier side is to learn to amplify and project your power. Do that with anything. On greens, on the softer side is to help you control the growth, and on the heavier side is to help you bring in mass growth, such as a money ritual. So I would use a softer green, this over here, like this, if I want to calm down my growth and just go into it slowly, have control. If I want that shit to be wildfire, then I'll use a darker green. So going through that like that. You go into other colors, such as, this is galena. It basically has that silverish gray color. I'll probably try and find a chart for you, and this is hematite, basic same thing, silverish color. Silver itself, the color is one of the master healers. The stone, or the metal I should say, is a master healer. Gold, the same thing. If you got a golden color stone, you have a master healer. So if you think about it being a master healer, it's a very high vibrational color that has many uses towards healing. And if it's going to be high use towards healing, it's probably going to be high use towards magical properties. So while I don't have them on that list, when you have outside colors like gold and copper and silver, they carry those higher vibrations, and you can go back into things that would be close to them. So like, let's just say with brown, if you're looking at this brown, and this is a tiger's eye, you're going to see some shades of red in there, some shades of brown, and probably a little bit of yellow. So if you can't find direct information on what the color brown means, And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna find that chart that gives you a breakdown of what each color means. And this is just color therapy, but color therapy can be associated with gemstone therapy when you're doing the colors by gemstones. So I'll find that color chart and I'll probably post that in the group of what each color means. And you apply that color on towards the stone, and then you apply the gemstone's properties. And remember, I told you when you want to find a property, um, if you know the name of the stone, then just say tiger's eye metaphysical properties or tiger's eye healing properties, and you go from there. So you got your browns. This is chiastolite. If you'll notice the cross, it's also called cross stone. It's a brown, but it also has black in it, and then on some levels it has shades of red. But the way that you can tell a chiastolite is it will have a cross on it. If it does not have a cross on it, you're looking at probably a petersite or possibly a lighter variation of garnet, and that's pretty much it right there. Hematite. Remember, once you ground this down, it turns into a red powder once you break it down enough, and then that's what they made the red ochre out of. Hematite is a heavy grounding stone, but it is also used towards, on some cases, prosperity, because hematite and lodelite or lodestone have basically the same texture, same properties. And you could use them for prosperity because, of course, remember, one of the primary forms of currency used to be silver. So you can relegate anything. You can use a gold stone for prosperity. Hell, on my prosperity ritual, I do have a big chunk of gold pyrite. You can use silver coins. You can use green. So you can think of whatever use you want to, and even if you can't find plausible information on it, be the first. You probably won't be the first anyway, just other people be scared to talk about it. But do what thou wilt. Find a use for them on top of what they're telling you they're used for. And if it works for you, keep track of that. And then eventually some things won't work for you no longer because you probably stepped out of that box or you overused it to where it no longer resonates. But this is my little spiel on the colors of gemstones. What I'm going to do over the next couple of days is we're going to start getting introduced to the chakras a little bit earlier, because I think I'm going to want to do at least 2 weeks of chakra balance versus one or 1.5. So we're going to start talking about chakras, and then by the end of the week, we're going to break out our pendulums and at least start learning how to control them on the basic level, and we'll start laying stones and doing actual chakra work on each other and on others and on ourselves. So again, I apologize for the delays I had with my phone messing up and with that lady who wanted to give me all her gemstones. Give me. But peace and wholeness. And if you got any questions, hit me up in the classroom. Thank you for attending, love, and peace and wholeness.